been for a walk with doggies in woods, and it's really funny because I bumped into this lady, and I've only seen her about 3 times in the whole time I've been here. I think she's a local, and we always say hello, but that's all. And then today she came over to me and she said, "You're always so happy-go-lucky, you aren't you? You're always laughing and stuff. All I can hear is you with the dogs laughing away." And I just laughed, and I went, "All right." And she went, "Do you know, I wish I was like that. You know, I wish I was like that." And I started laughing inside, and she said, "I'll see you later." And when she went off, I was thinking, isn't it funny how people see us and how we see ourselves? And then you can see that I overanalyse everything to death, right? Because that's how my brain's set. But I thought, who are we really? Because I've met people in my life and I thought, oh, they are lovely. And I've only met them maybe a couple of times. Or there might be somebody I've worked with or lived near. And I thought, that person's dead sweet. They're always really friendly and really nice. And then somewhere down the line I've heard a story about them. Like, oh, did you know that she cheated on her husband, or he got done for some kind of crime against children or something like that. And I'm like, what? No way. And then I was thinking about it and I thought, how many people need to be in our social circle, either physically or on the outsides of it, for us to know who we actually are? Because when you think about it, each communication that we have with different people is always kind of different. How we are in front of children, how we are in front of certain family members or our partners or friends or work colleagues. We kind of give something of ourselves to these people, but it's not always the same. And so their version of us is what they see. So wouldn't it be funny, right, say like you were stood in a court and you had to call in a load of witnesses to describe you and give you a character reference? What would they say? Would it be like a consistent, oh, this person is hardworking, easygoing, morally well regarded and things like this? Or would it be a mixed bag, like a mixed review? And when you think about it, when you think about all these crimes, like let's say a serial killer, when they get caught, how many different versions of them come out? And there'll be people who go, "He was such a charming man." Boo Boo, Mummy's on camera. She's going to start with teeth. Look, you're going to telly. He was such a charming man, you know. He was well liked in the community. He was an hard worker. He was a professional. And then his wife will come and say he was actually abusive. And everyone around him will have had different versions of him, because the face that he puts on in public isn't the one that they get at home. And how many of us do that? And I think it's everyone. So that gets me thinking on to another thing, because I keep changing on to different subjects. I'm going to film her in a minute. Right, do you want to go on the telly? Every time I say that, she looks like, because she doesn't like going on telly, do you, puppy? Be a nice girl. I don't get nothing done with these dogs. It is irritating. It is like having 2 toddlers in the house. So anyway, yeah, what I was saying is about our characters and how different versions of us come out in different circumstances and with different people. And then I thought, dating agencies, they are the biggest con that has ever been invented, because it's one of the only places where you go on there and you have to do a bio of yourself. And it is really funny, because you put this bio up of yourself and nobody on a dating agency goes, I'm a notorious wife beater, I've cheated on every woman I've ever been with, I'm a narcissist, I'm abusive, I put my partners down until they've lost all the confidence. And you don't get women coming on saying, all those photographs up of me now are all highly filtered, and that's not what I look like at all. I usually walk around with my hair all over the place, and I wear onesies, and I don't make any effort unless I'm going on a night out. We don't tell the truth. And then you think, right, when it says what is your character, how many people put on easy going? And then you look at the photograph, and some of them look like they're in a coma, and you think, yeah, easy going or horizontal, and what does that even mean? I have gone out with people who say I'm easy going, but what they mean is they can't be bothered. You make the decisions and I'll just go along with it because I can't be bothered. You know, I'm just too, I can't make decisions, and I can't be bothered to put effort into nothing. So you'll be doing all the work and I'll just be riding off your coattails. And then people will go, got a great sense of humour, and then they put pictures up of them at the pub holding a pint with the football t-shirt on, and the mates, "Way!" And you think, yeah, I know what kind of humour that is, but it's not mine. And then other people who put, they try and make it themselves out to be really intelligent, so they'll say, I'm a sapphire, and I'm looking for somebody like that who's on my level. And then they go into this really deep talk about themselves, and it doesn't even make any sense whatsoever, and you think, I consider myself to be reasonably intelligent, but I don't get that, so clearly I'm not on the level you're looking for. But nobody else is going to be on here, because we're all the leftovers. We're all the people who go on sites like that. We've either lost the will to live, or we've found nowhere anywhere else, and it's like a last chance. But the amount of people who are on there constantly, and over the years I have been on a site now, it must be 10 years easy, but it's not all the time. It's like every so many years, and I'll only stay on it for a week, and every time I go back on it, the same people come and go, "Oh, you're back." And I'm like, "What? Are you old players?" And then they go, "Well, are you?" And I'm like, "Well, no, I just can't get nowhere." And they're like, "Well, you know, we're same sort of thing," or they pretend that they're popular. But it's funny because, like I said, you're describing yourself, but is it the truth? Are we actually being really honest about who we are? Because who goes onto a dating site and then puts on the profile, I'm happy-go-lucky to a point. I can suffer from really bad mood swings. I have bad hormone changes every month, and I want to throw cups at people. And I just feel really rotten sometimes, and sometimes I just want to be left alone, and I can't stand anybody near me. Sex is just something I do just to please you, but I'm not really bothered about it. And all this, if you told the actual real truth, or if everybody did the actual real truth, none of us would get a date. So the thing is, we have to lie about ourselves just to start off something. And then obviously we all get exposed somewhere down the line, because all the things we never mentioned start to come out. And then people say, "You never told me this about you. I never realised this about you." And if they go to like other people and talk, other people who know you'll go, "Oh, she's not like that. She's a really happy-go-lucky." The people who make me laugh the most, and this is every ex and every friend that I have ever had, has always said the same line to me, and every time they've said it, I have laughed my head off. And that line is, "I know you better than you know yourself." And that always makes me laugh, because I always think to myself, no, you got X amount of me, you got X amount of my personality, you didn't get it all, so you don't know me at all. You don't know my story, you don't know what makes me tick, you don't know what makes me happy, you don't know what makes me angry. And if they turn around and go, "Yeah, I know everything," well then, more fool you, and shame on you. Because if you know everything about me, why would you press my buttons? So think about that. Nobody knows anybody. I have had relationships like over the years with people. When I say relationships, I mean people general. I mean, for example, when we were children, we went to church, and the church warden was an old guy. And when I say old, he was probably in his late 60s, early 70s at the time. But when you're a child, everybody's old. And I liked him. And we used to go to his house with my mum after church sometimes, and he lived with his wife and her mother. So the mother was in her 90s. And they were such a lovely threesome, do you know what I mean? They were so sweet, and they always made us a nice buns and drinks and everything, and they were so warm. And we all liked him. And I didn't have a bad word to say about him. He was just a nice guy. He was lovely. And then years later, it comes out that this man is a child abuser, and he's been abusing little boys. And that's why he never touched me, because I was a girl. But he was nice to me as well. And I couldn't believe it. And I thought, how we can get duped by people like that? You know, he was a Christian guy. Seemed to have high morals. He was loyal on the surface to his wife and his mother-in-law. He had a lot of patience. He was kind. He gave things to the community. He did a lot of work in the community. And then you find things out like that and you think, you never knew him. His wife never knew him. And his mother-in-law never knew him. So it was a lie. Or an aspect of him was. And then, you know, when I'm talking now, I know I waffle. I'm sorry I ramble on about stuff, but my mind is like this all the time. I just analyse everybody and everything. And quite often I look at people when I hear stories about them and I think, I never saw that. I got you so wrong. And yet other times I can look at somebody and see what other people don't. And it's a very strange thing, and I think, are the people that dupe us just really good at it? Have they become so ardent in their behaviours that it's just a natural thing for them to be a liar and a deceiver, but with a big smile on the face? Very hard to get past somebody like that. And it's quite sad really, isn't it? Because you can look at people and think, it's alright for you, you're happy, you've got everything, look at you, you've got a nice house, a nice partner, you've got a nice family, you've got a good job, and you have no idea whatsoever what's going on behind the scenes. Because some people are so good at putting on a face, and I'm talking the good and the bad. You know, there are people out there, and this is something I saw a lot when I was young, because there was a lot of domestic violence in my neighbourhood when I grew up, and it was all almost seen as normal back then. It never involved the police. There was no arrests ever made. It was just a part of life. And that is that women would get beaten up by their partners, and children got beaten up a lot as well, because we came from a time then where it was seen as being discipline. And the husbands, I mean, people would even laugh about it and they say, oh, you're getting her in line, she needs getting in line, and he'd rough her up and push her about, and it was seen as normal behaviour. But the amount of these women who'd walk around and you'd talk to them and they'd come across as like quite serene, happy, just generally okay, and yet the misery they must have been feeling inside and the suffering that they must have gone through, and they never showed it and they never talked about it because it was just normalised behaviour. But whether it's seen as normal or not, it still hurts you, and you still feel it in your soul. When somebody's abusive, you don't feel good about yourself, you know, you feel bad. So to be able to put on a big front to the general public and go, oh, that, you know, my husband's at home, and the amount of them who would praise their husbands, knowing that you'd just seen them getting beaten up by him the night before, and they'd be going round the next day saying, oh, my husband works there, yeah, he's had that job, and they'd talk about him like he was some great guy. And I used to sit there thinking, he's not a nice person, but she would tell everybody he was. So we all lie. We lie to protect people, we lie to protect ourselves, and we lie to cover up what we do. So we don't actually ever really know each other. It, to actually have a truly authentic relationship with somebody, would it ever even work? If somebody came to me now and said, I want to get to know you better and I'd like to hang around with you and I'd like to start something up, but before that I just want you to know that I'm prone to mood swings, and sometimes I get jealous and sometimes I lie, and then if I turn around and said, all right, you know, I can be the same sometimes, you know, sometimes I can be sat there and then next thing I'm crying over nothing. And if we were truly, totally honest with each other right at the very beginning, would we even bother with each other? Would we even have friends? Would we bother with anybody? You know, if you said, you know, I can get so far down the line somewhere, then I get bored because it just feels like it's just not enough. And then my eyes start wandering off, not so much to somebody else, but something else. Like, wouldn't it be nice to have my time back to myself and have my own place again and stuff like that? But we don't say it, do we? We just wing it. With all the relationships we have, we just wing it. And I says to my children, you know, when they sometimes, like, if they ever criticise me and stuff, and I say, you don't understand how it is. When I had you, I did. There was no rule books. There was no nothing. It was like you just get on with it, you know. And you're finding each other out as you go through life. And your children are born with their own personality. So you might be a nice, happy-go-lucky person, or you might be a right moody person, but your child could be the complete opposite of you, and that can trigger something else in you that you didn't even know was there. So none of us are perfect, and you're never going to be perfect, and you're never going to be what you truly want sometimes, because there's a part of me that's yearning to be in the starlight, but not in the way you think. I would love to learn how to sing and just go on a stage and do it, but I know I'll never, because I haven't got the confidence and I can't sing. And I know I can go for singing lessons, but would I have the courage to do it? But there's a part of me in there who's like the fantasist, who wants to do things I know I'd never do. And that's there, and I don't know if that's in everybody. I don't know if everyone's the same. I was actually speaking to my foster sister the other week, and she said something I couldn't believe, and she said, I don't have an imagination. And I said, what does that mean? And she said, I don't have an imagination. I can't imagine things. Like, if I read a book, when you read a book, your imagination fills the story up. So if it says there was a lady and she was sat in a house in a rocking chair and she got up and she walked through the blue door, you can picture it in your head. And she said, I can't picture it. I can't see it. And that's why I never got good grades at school in English and things like that. And the teacher said, you've got no imagination. She said, I just don't. And I couldn't get my head around it because I live in my imagination. And that's where they say that you manifest things, and that's where you learn about yourself and grow from there, because with an imagination you can start to think outside of the box and start to develop new skills in yourself, and because it leads you to new places. But I can't imagine not having an imagination. But yeah, back to that, who are we? Who are we? We're just a mixture of every emotion and a mixed bag of all kinds of stuff, all shook up together, and the parts that'll come out depend on who you're with. So if you're sat with the right tribe, the people that you vibe with the most, they'll probably get the best out of you. They'll see the best side of you. But if you've got a really authentic relationship, they'll get the worst side of you as well, because you'll let that out. You'll show your vulnerability to somebody and let them see it. But how many people have you ever hidden from, like inside, and thought, I'm not showing you that aspect of me, and I'm not letting you get close to me like that. So you'll never have the privilege of knowing who I really am, because I'm not going to give you that, because I don't trust what you do with it. So when I meet people out and about me, do I underestimate people all the time and think, that person's got no about them, when actually they've got a lot about them, but they're just giving me what they want me to see. And a lot of people who can go around like blustering, like I've got this and I can do that, they're just bigging themselves up to make themselves feel better because they don't have much to offer at all. It's very funny, isn't it? And I think when it comes to like who are we, I think you start to find out who that is when you're alone. And I spend all my time on my own, and I analyse myself constantly, so I've become more self-aware now than when I was with someone, because when you're with someone you focus on them, like what you've said, what you did, what you didn't do, and then how that made me feel. But rather than when you're on your own, you've got no one to analyse apart from yourself, and then you sit there and think, I need to work on that. I need to bring that side of me out that's never been shown, and then I need to get that one dulled down, because that's the part of me I don't like and stuff. So, but I thought I'd just do a waffle talk. What I'm trying to do is build my channel up, because I want to get out of this the life that I'm living now. I love it and it's served a good purpose, but I want to go to the next level in my life. So I'm going to try and build up my channel, but I am going to be looking at some new software today. I'm going to get, I think, a refurbished laptop, but one that's got the specs that can do what I need it to do. So I need to be able to download some really good editing software and stuff like that. And I've got another channel opened, but I haven't put anything on it yet, and it's going to take me a long time to grow that. But I've also been looking at ebooks, writing ebooks, and I've only done a bit of research so far, and it seems that it's doable even for somebody like me. So I'm going to look into all that and have a go with that, because it'd be amazing. Because for many years now, people have said write a book, write a book, write a book. So I am writing a book, but I'm doing it. It's a process, and I'm teaching myself how to do it, and how to do it the most simple way, because I can't cope with overwhelming learning. It's got to be bite-sized for me. A little bit here, stop, go away, do something else, come back, do a little bit more, and just keep going until it sinks in, because I can't cope with sitting in front of a computer all day. It just drives me mad. So that's why I'm wanting to build my channel up. So I'm going to be doing lots of talks like this, and hopefully it'll get people watching it. And then when I get the other one going on the side, and I get to a point where I can let it come out and go public, then I can say, can you please go and check that channel out, and hopefully get it off to a good start. So there is a method to this madness. But I'm going to go now, because I've got two puppies who are both looking hopelessly depressed, even though they've just been playing with me in the woods. But they need so much attention, and they're 14 years old, and you'd think these are old girls now, really. So you'd think they'd spend most of the day just chilling out and stuff like an old lady, but no, they're like me. We still play, and we still want to go out 3 times a day, 4 times a day, and have a game. And then when we come back, we're still bored, so you've still got to give us attention. Right, it's 2:45, and it's the 31st of January, so it's February tomorrow. That's going so fast. Anyway, I'm going to go because I keep waffling. Bye-bye!